Let's go through the SQL Server 2025 log shipping concepts and theory. Log shipping is one of the simplest ways to protect your SQL Server from disaster, but most people misunderstand how it actually works. Let us see that in this video. But before I proceed, let me make you a kind request. If you do like my channel, if you do like the videos that I'm uploading on my channel, and if these particular videos are helping in your career or in your professional life in any which ways, do subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. With that being said, let's proceed. This particular tutorial is recorded on SQL Server 2025. Same concepts apply to SQL Server 2012 through SQL Server 2025. But however, the newer features may differ. While SQL Server 2025 introduced AI capabilities, log shipping remains unchanged and continues to be a reliable DR solution. Let's see the introduction. So this particular log shipping was introduced in SQL Server 2000. It's a low-cost, simple disaster recovery solution with optional read-only via standby. It maintains secondary copies of database via transaction log backups. SQL Server log shipping is not a HA solution. It's a DR solution, but not a HA solution. The primary can be in US and secondary can be in Europe, which means you can set up the log shipping across multiple geographies. Architecture. Let's see the architecture. So we got a primary server, which is basically source database. You got secondary server, one or many. You can basically have multiple secondary servers which will receive the transaction log backups, and these are the DR targets. So one primary can send the logs to multiple secondaries. Monitor server, which is optional, which will track the log shipping status. You got SQL agent jobs, which are basically backup, copy, and restore. And you got secondary database mode, which it can be either in standby, which is a read-only mode, or no recovery mode. How this particular solution works, it basically continuously ships transaction log backups, restores on secondary server, and keeps secondary slightly behind based on the job frequency. So what are the prerequisites? The database must use full or bulk log recovery model. Primary database must have recent full backup, which will be used to initialize the secondary. SQL Server agent must be running. Proper network connectivity between servers. The steps to configure log shipping, very easy. Take full backup of primary, restore the backup on secondary database with no recovery or standby mode, configure backup job on primary, configure copy and restore job on secondary, optionally configure monitor server. So if I have to repeat the steps, take full backup, restore the backup on secondary, configure backup job on primary, configure copy and restore job on secondary. That's it. Let's see the diagrammatical flow. So we have a primary database where we have users continuously doing transactions on our primary database. The users are running insert, update, delete, and changes will go to the transaction log. You have a log backup job which runs on a primary. It's an agent job which will run every X minutes, your choice based on your business requirement, you can run it every 5 minutes, you can run it every 15 minutes, you can run it every 1 hour, every 1 day, completely your choice. It will create a TRN file. This particular TRN file needs to be stored in a shared location. The next job, which is a copy job, which is a pull job, which will pull the TRN file from the primary. It will pull the this particular TRN file, and place it in the secondary server. Finally, the restore job on the secondary will apply this TRN files, and these particular files will be applied in sequence, and at this moment whatever changes happened on the primary will be available. So backup, log copy, log restore, all of this will be your agent job. The flow, if I have to repeat the flow, primary database activity, the log backup happens on the primary, kept in a shared location, copy job copies it to secondary, restores it on the secondary. Now there are some key points that to remember. It's not it's an HDR solution, not an HA solution. Since it works on a agent job, it's always behind, and the delay is based on the backup frequency of your copy and restored job. In case of failure, you can restore the secondary database with recovery to make it primary. So you can make the standby as a secondary as a primary. You have to restore it with recovery option. Let's see these particular jobs in detail. So the backup job is the one which runs on primary. It takes the backup of transaction logs at scheduled intervals, stored backup files in a shared folder accessible to secondary server. The frequency of your backup can be configured based on your RPO and RTO, which is recovery point objective and recovery time objective. Now, remember one thing: wherever you are going to keep the backup, that particular backup location, the shared folder location, needs to have proper permission for the SQL Server service account so that it can write to that particular location. The copy job, this job runs on the secondary server. It is a pull job. It copies the transaction from the primary to the secondary. Ensure backups are available locally for restore. Configurable delay possible for reporting purpose. So you can configure when to copy the job, when to do the copy, so that basically you can, if you configure the copy job every 15 minutes, your secondary will be delayed by every 15 minutes. You can choose your frequency. Restore job, this is the final job which runs on the secondary. It basically, whatever copy job has copied the transaction log, it applies them in sequence. Database kept in no recovery or standby mode. So when the restore happens, the database is either in the no recovery or standby mode. And standby mode, basically, if you keep it in the standby mode, it allows read-only access to the secondary database. However, that is very important point, that whenever the restore is happening, the standby, even the read-only access will be terminated. Your read-only queries will be terminated or killed during the restore. Now, the latency, why there is a latency? Because it's not real time. The secondary will be behind your primary based on the backup frequency. So if you are taking the backup every 15 minutes, that is a 15 minutes data loss. Maximum data loss can be up to the backup interval. So if you configure 15 minutes, that's your maximum data loss. Now let's see the secondary modes. We got two modes you can use in the secondary. You can configure the secondary as a no recovery mode, or you can configure as a standby mode. No recovery used for the pure DR. Database is always in the restoring mode, not accessible to users. In the standby mode, can be used for reporting. Read-only access is allowed. Users can run reports from the standby. Now, as I said, standby disconnects during restore. Which mode to choose, no recovery or standby. You can choose. If you want only the pure DR, go with no recovery. If you want some kind of reporting to be done on standby, go with the standby mode. So based on what features you want, you can choose no recovery or standby mode. Now, what are the advantages of log shipping? It is a simple to configure and manage. Very simple. It's a low cost setup with less overhead. Can support multiple secondary database. One primary can ship logs to multiple secondary servers. Works over long distances. Cross-region DR, disaster recovery setup across data centers. Offloading reporting workloads to standby databases, and migration or upgrade scenarios with minimal. So if you want to upgrade or migrate a database to another server, you can configure the log shaping. You can put it in the log shaping, and once you are ready, you can just restore the apply the final log, and you can actually put the database into, you can say restore with recovery, and you can open the database. So these are some of the advantage. And when to use this particular, it is best suited where manual failover is acceptable, and it is the solution which works over long distances. Limitations of log shipping: no automatic failover, secondary database slightly behind primary, possible data loss, applies at database level, not at the instance level, manual failover, you have to failover manually. Secondary, limited usability. In the no recovery mode, no access. In the standby, read-only access is provided, however, disconnected during restore. Failover in log shipping. Failover is manual, not automatic. Secondary database must be recovered to become primary. You will use restore with recovery option. Point in time recovery possible if all the backups are intact, all the backups from primary are intact. And when you do the failover, make sure to disable jobs on both primary and secondary, the backup, copy, and restore jobs. Now, one of the point that the instance name will change, so the applications must be redirected manually when you do the failover. To monitor the log shipping, you can monitor the agent jobs such as backup, copy, restore jobs when the last file is applied, and you can monitor the disk space in the shared folder. You have some useful tables such as log shipping monitor primary apply and log shipping monitor secondary. So you can use these particular tables to monitor your log shipping. Now let's compare some of the other features: log shipping versus database mirroring. Log shipping multiple secondaries, manual failovers, supports standby mode. Mirroring single mirror but automatic failover, synchronous or asynchronous mode. Log shipping better for reporting, mirroring better for HA. Both can complement each other. What it mean by complement is you can have for the same database you can configure the mirroring and the log shipping as well. Now remember one thing, that although the database mirroring can still be used in SQL Server 2025, it is deprecated in newer versions of SQL Server. Now let's compare log shipping versus AlwaysOn AG group. AlwaysOn supports multiple replicas with read-write or read-only access. The secondary, you can, although this says read-write, you cannot read-write on the secondary. You can only have one read-write and multiple read-only. AlwaysOn provides automatic failover. You need enterprise edition. Log shipping is simpler and available in standard edition. Log shipping is good for DR, AlwaysOn for HA plus DR. Now that is basic AG, which is standard edition, but it does not support automatic failover. Now let's do the comparison of all the features. So log shipping is a DR feature, AlwaysOn is HA plus DR, and mirroring is an HA solution. The log shipping does not provide auto failover. AlwaysOn provides auto failover, mirroring as well, but you need to set up witness. Data loss, yes, possible because there is a delay. AlwaysOn AG, there is a minimal as well as minimal in mirroring. Complexity low. This is the only solution which is highly complicated to set up. Mirroring is also complexity low. Real time, no. And the AlwaysOn AG and mirroring, it's real time if you configure them in a sync mode. With that being said, let's see the conclusion. Log shipping provides DR and standby reporting. It's a simple, cost-effective but manual failover. It complements mirroring and AlwaysOn and is still widely used in SQL Server environments. With that being said, let us begin the labs in next part. Now, before I end the tutorial, let me make a kind request. If you do like my video, if you do like my channel, do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button. Your motivation means a lot to me. With that being said, let's see in the next tutorial. Thank you for watching. See you in next tutorial. Bye bye.